Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing video number 4 in my 12 days of layouts for Christmas. And this one is one that I created just for you. And it is really cute, I think. It's a snow globe. And it's one page, not 2 pages. I know I normally do a 2-page layout. This is a single page layout, but there will be a companion page to it coming up in this series, so watch for that. But for now, there's just one page, and it's just the snow globe. And I have to really put my imagination cap on and think about what to do for the companion page, because I have not discovered what that's going to be just yet, but we'll come up with something really cool. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started on this fun project. Okay, so we're doing something special today and I am so excited. As I probably already mentioned in the introduction. I have 5 pieces of paper on my table right now. I have a white piece of cardstock, a navy piece of cardstock, I have some platinum shimmer, some bronze shimmer, and I have this piece from the new Flurry of Fun paper pack with all the flurries. And initially the layout I was going to do for you today was going to be something different than what we are doing, because when I sat down to put it together, I don't know, I felt like this is what I wanted to make, so this is what I'm making today. This is a single page layout because it is going to be quite involved. I may do a companion page for it, but at this moment I'm not sure what that companion page is going to look like. So so for now, I'm just doing this part, and it can stand alone as a single page. And then if I do a second page, I'll be sure and take a picture and add that to the end of the video for you. So I have permanent and repositionable adhesive. We will likely use both of those today. I'm going to set them over here though until we get a few pieces cut. I also pulled some of my Christmas punches. As you can see, I've got over here, I've got the manger, I've got the winter town, I think that's what they call it. Yeah, winter town. I've got the sleigh, I've got a pine tree punch, I've got a holly punch, and I have a deer punch. So I think we may use most, if not all of these in today's layout. We're also going to use the circle maker. So I hope that is something that doesn't intimidate you too much. And yeah, it's going to be fun. But let's start by, we're going to start by grabbing our trimmer and gutting the white cardstock and trimming the blue. Okay, so if you don't know what it means to gut cardstock, that just means that we're cutting the middle out of a paper. We're cutting the middle out so that we can lower the amount of weight that's going to be on the page. And I am making a 1-inch frame, and the way that I'm doing that is I'm just taking a look at where my blade starts and stops and making sure that I'm leaving 1 inch from the beginning to the end. Now you can do this a couple of different ways. You can do this with clips. You can do it just by sight, whichever way works best for you. I will show you really quick how to do it by sight. That way, or how to do it using the clips. That way you'll know the fast and easy way. Okay. I've already cut that one, but we'll just go ahead and take a second and get these clips set. Okay, so I want to start my cut at 1 inch, and I know that my blade starts 1 inch from the edge. Either this edge or this edge, doesn't matter, the blade is directly in the middle of the housing. So I'm going to place a clip right at 0, so that when this blade comes up here, it starts cutting right at 1 inch. Down here, I want to stop at the 11-inch mark, so I'm going to place a clip on the rails at 12 inches so that when my blade housing comes down here, it stops at 11 inches. Okay, I'm actually going to move that up just slightly. There we go. Okay. So then you can cut all day long. Like, you can cut just a ton of these out very, very quickly. So I'm going to rotate this one rotation, lining it up on the 1-inch mark on this side. And I don't even really have to think about it. I just cut and turn and cut and turn and cut and turn until I've gone all the way around. I may have to redo that last one, not the one I just did, but the one I did before that, because it just didn't sound like it cut all the way through. We'll see how it goes. This is the first cut that I made, but we're going to do it again just to make sure that it went through. And we're going to do this one more time, because it just sounded like it didn't quite make it all the way through the cardstock. Sometimes if your cardstock is particularly thick, you have to give it a little extra muscle. And there's our 1-inch frame. Okay, super, super fast, really easy with the clips. And I don't remember who shared that tip with me, but it was brilliant. Okay, so we're going to take our navy cardstock now, and we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off that side. Then we're going to rotate it once and cut another 1/2 inch, lining it up at the very beginning of the grid on the right hand side. That gives you a 1/2 inch cut. Okay, these are just extra pieces I'm going to set aside over there. Alright, so this piece is going to go on here like so. Just going to set my trimmer over here real quick while I add some adhesive to my navy, and we'll get this adhered to the base. I hope everyone's having a Merry Christmas season. Thanksgiving just feels like it just barely got over, but we are definitely in the throes of Christmas around here, so I hope that you are too, and enjoying that with your family and your friends. We have not gotten much weather yet this year. I hope I'm not jinxing it by saying that. My husband went up for opening day of ski season, and there were hordes of people, and they had to pretty much make a lot of man-made snow. Okay, so this is my base for this page. All right, now I'm going to come in here with my bronze, and I'm going to cut a 2-inch piece of bronze. So we're going to go, actually I'm going to go with 2.5. We're going to go with 2.5. And keep in mind, I've not made this page before. This is just something that I thought sounded really cool, and I really wanted to put it together. So here we are. All right, so I'm going to cut 1.5 inches off the side, which will make this a 10.5 inch wide piece. Nope, I need it to be 10 inches, so let's go with 10. Okay, and then I'm going to, I want to angle the cuts on the side. So what I want to do is I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to use the ruler on my mat, and I'm going to just mark where 1 inch is. So 1 inch in from this corner, 1 inch in from this corner. Okay, then I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to go place this on my cutting line where I marked, and then this far corner. Okay, so we're going to just cut that right off. And we're going to do the same thing over here, only it's going to be upside down because it's going to be upside down. Okay, so we're going to go from here to there. Very good. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to try to cut a little bit of an ellipse. I know that's going to sound crazy. What is she doing? Why is she doing that? But so I want to find the center of this top line. This top line is 8 inches, so the center is going to be right here at 6, and I want to be able to cut in about, I think about 1/2 inch, so right about there. Okay, and then halfway in between I want it to only be 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go out here to the midpoints between the center and here and mark. Is that right? Is that what I want? No. Okay, I want 3/8 of an inch at the midpoint, right here at the quarter point, I guess. 1/2 inch at the middle, and then another 3/8 of an inch over here. All right. Now, what I'm wondering is, do I have something that I could use as a pattern that could cut that kind of an arch? It's hard to see the dots that I put on here. No, I don't think I do. Well, hang on. No, that's going to be... Hold on one second. I have one more thing I want to try and see if it'll work. And if it won't work, then that's okay. Let's see if this... Nope, this is not a flattened curve enough. Okay. So that means we get to freehand this. And I apologize to all of you who don't like to do that. But I'm just going to start in this corner down here, and I'm going to cut towards that dot that I made at 3/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to cut towards the dot that I made at 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to cut towards the dot I made at 3/8 of an inch. And then again towards the corner on the other side. I think that is as good as I can get it for the moment. Erase any pencil marks that you made and set that little piece aside. We will get back to it in a little bit. All right, so we're going to set that back up in there. Move that to the side. Okay, now I need my circle cutter, and I'm going to cut a 10-inch circle on this paper. It's not the biggest circle that I can make, and I don't want it to be the biggest circle I can make. I want it to just be 10 inches. Okay, so I have released the white and moved my bubble here. The black line on the bubble is what indicates the measurement, where it sits, where your pivot point sits. So I'm putting that on the 10 that's in white, and that will give me a 10-inch circle. And I'm going to use the marks that I put on here to indicate where the blade is, so that I know, so I'm not using the whole paper, but I know if the blade is within the paper. See right there, it's too high. I need to bring it back so I can make sure that it will fit. Okay, I think that looks good. So we're just squeezing the white button and pushing down for the blade and making our circle. Okay, so that just conserves a little bit of paper that I can use on a different layout somewhere along the line. All right, now in addition to that, I want to grab my platinum shimmer and I want to move this out 2 points. So it's 10.2, not quite in the half. Okay, and we're going to do two things. We're going to find the center of, oh, you know what? We need to find the center of this paper. Now I didn't have to do that on that one because I don't have to realign my cutter. But for this one, because we're going to make a ring, I need to find the center of my paper so that I can revisit it. Because I'll need to lift up my cutter. So I'm just finding the very middle of my paper. I put a post-it note on there, so I'm not drawing directly on my paper. I'm just drawing on the post-it. Okay, and then from finding the center, I go down 1.25 inches and line it up and put another line. Now I learned this technique from Nicole So. She's a CM advisor who's a good friend of mine. And so I'm going to line this up so that the front of my cutter is on that lower line and the black line on the bubble is right on that center mark. Okay, and each time that I put it back on here, that's how I'm going to line it up. So here we have a 10.2 circle, okay, and I don't want to use the whole thing. That's going to make my page super heavy, so I'm going to back it off and bring it back to 9.3, and that should give me roughly well, let's make it a little wider, shall we? Let's make it 9.1. Okay, by doing that, it'll just give me a little more space to adhere, so that's good. So I'm going to place this back on here, just like I did before, lining that bubble line up with this center line and the front of my cutter with that lower line that I put in 1.25 inches below. And see how it lines it back up perfectly center so that I can make a ring. And then the ring becomes an outline for my circle. Just like that. Alright. So give me just a second here. I'm going to grab some adhesive, go around the outside edge of my circle. I love the paper they put on the back of this particular sheet. The trees, the varied colors of the trees, but I love the swirls of the wind, and they are perfect for what we're making today. So we're using this side. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and center that on the frame that we made. And go ahead and press it down. when you have it centered. Okay, now I just want to check and see that this is going to work the way I was hoping. So we're going to go ahead and place that on there just like so. I'm actually going to use repositionable adhesive on this because I may need to pop it back up temporarily in a little bit. Alright, so there's the base of our snow globe. Then we're going to go ahead and place that right on here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm going to leave just about 1/8 of an inch of the navy blue showing at the bottom and make sure that that is as centered as possible. Doesn't look centered. I think I must be leaning to the right today. Okay, there we go. Well, go with that. No worries. All right, so there's our snow globe. Now we're going to make some things to go inside the snow globe. And I think I want... So first I'm going to make some trees. We're going to punch some trees. We're going to punch some holly. So I just pulled out a bunch of extra little things that I happen to have sitting. I think I might trim that. Maybe what I'll do is just trim it off and then we'll add some snow. Let's see. I'm gonna cut it at an angle in so that we don't have as much showing. I'm gonna grab a little bit of white and my decorative trimmer, which is hiding in here, so give me 1 second while I get that out. I have a lot of stuff on my desktop right now. This is kind of driving me nuts. Okay, so let me turn this around. We're just going to make some different snow, rolling snow. So like that. This is the decorative trimmer. If you've never used the decorative trimmer before, I love it to pieces. It's no longer in our line, but I'm hoping that someday they'll bring it back. So if you are looking for one, I do have a couple. It's a lot of fun. And especially when you're trying to make snow, it's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna just grab this trimmer. I'm gonna cut this in half and we're gonna just layer some snowbanks in here. And what I might what I maybe should have done was not attach the bronze yet and not attach the circle, because I think I'm going to need to trim some things. So that was a little bit, I got excited. Please forgive me. But I think I'm going to need to lift this out of here for a second. I think that will make this easier to do. So we'll just set that aside for a second. All right, I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive. We're going to get this put in here so that those trees. Now we can add our layers of snow. Okay, now I'm going to just trim that snow. Sure I am. There we go. It'll stick to my table. Okay, I'm going to trim off. I'm not too worried about the fact that the design goes beyond. Let me just make sure that this is working though before I get too far. Alright, so maybe I am a little worried about that. I think what I need to do is try to trim this. You won't see that part, I promise. But at least that top part is trimmed a little more nicely. What I should have done, so note to self, decorate your snow globe before you add in the rest of it. Okay, that's gonna look better. There. Much better. So decorate this piece before you add the ring to it. And then you can trim those super easy. Alright, so let's do some trees that are going to be more up front. So if you don't have the pine tree punch, I do apologize. This one was retired a little while ago, but hopefully they will come out with some other tree punches. I think they're cool. I think a lot of people really like them. So, and they're incredibly useful if you're a card maker, I have found. So we'll see what happens in the future, but I'm hopeful that we may get a few more varieties of trees. There is another tree punch that we have that's actually on the buy one get one sale right now. So if you don't have it already, you might want to look into it. And it's nice for like summer. It reminds me of a tree in the park. Alright, so I just have a variety of trees, and I just want to see about adding some of them in. If you have the sleigh punch and the deer punch and all of that, you could make some very clever little scenes in your snow globe. I think I want to, I'm going to set these aside over here, and I'm going to look at what my focus for the snow globe is going to be. Are we going to make a little town? Well, these trees will be gigantic if we use the little town. We could do the sleigh. We could do the sleigh and a reindeer. Let's see. It's a cute little sleigh. And the reindeer, one second, let's see. There's a reindeer. This is just a scrap from a past Croptoberfest. Maybe we'll give him a buddy so that he's not alone. So there'll be two of them. And I guess this means we are traveling the other direction because I should have punched those or flipped the paper over so that they were headed in the other direction, but that's okay. No worries. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of cluster some of these trees. So we can put them kind of in and around. I actually want to tuck that down in the snow, so let's pick that up and I'll tuck those in like so. the same thing over here. Kind of tuck those in just a little. Those trees. Give these guys we can just draw a little kind of harness on these guys. All right, now we need some mats to go up here. So what kind of mats are we going to use? Let's see. We could use some green mats. We could use red mats. We could use bronze mats. What should we do? Since I have some more of this bronze paper, I think I'm just going to use that. Let's just make we'll make some 4x4 mats. Let's make some 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, just stacking those two sheets on top of each other, and we're going to cut 4 1/4 again. Again, I think I need to flip my mat. My cuts are not going through, which is so strange. Okay, another 4 1/4. The rest of that will go over there. And do I have a 4-inch? I don't. All right. These might be too big. We could do 2 that are 4 1/4, and then we could do 1 that's 4x3 in the middle. Four by 3 1/4. 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So the picture can be 4x3. I like that. I think that works good. Okay, then I want to do some holly. I didn't end up using these bigger punches, but they would be really cute. So if you have those available, they would be super cute in a snow globe like this, to use those little villages and the nativity scene. Alright, so I'm just going to make some quick holly. Just a couple. Alright. Come out, wherever you are. There it is. Okay. So I've got these two, and I think I might, no mites about it. I'm gonna also punch it in the parakeet shimmer. Hello. Okay. And I'm going to punch it I'm going to punch it twice in red. Now, why is she punching holly out of red, you say? Let me show you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my repositionable adhesive. I'm going to offset it as I lay it on top of this darker green, which just gives it a little bit more depth without necessarily popping it off the page. Okay, so like that. Then I'm going to take these and I'm just going to cut the leaves off. I've tried all manner of using this punch to create little berries. I've tried using another punch to create berries, and if you have one that will do something tiny like this, then by all means go ahead and use that. But I think it just works, it works just fine if you have the paper to spare, to just go ahead and cut the already pre-punched berries. And if you have some tweezers, so much the better, right? Okay, there we go. And then these red leaves just go away. Okay, then these are going to go on either corner of the snow globe. And we might need one more for up here. Let's do one more for up there. Because it needs something up there in the top. We need a catchy title for this page too. So I've heard people comment before that they don't buy the punches, or they don't buy, you know, different things like that. I have found in my experience that I use my tools. I use my tools a lot. So, and you may have noticed that from watching my channel. I use my tools a lot, and that's not anything unusual. I'm not doing that just for show because it's YouTube. I genuinely do use my tools quite a bit. So if you see something like this and you think to yourself, man, I wish I had, now's the time to reach out and get some tools, because CM has a buy one get one sale going on right now that is unbeatable. There are Boilermaker cartridges, there are standalone punches, there are all kinds of fun things available, and you have to start somewhere. So if you see a Creative Memories creator or scrapbook creator using a punch and you think to yourself, oh, I could never do that because I don't have the punch. Well, it's not that you need to go out and spend $100 or more buying all the punches right this minute, but if you bought one or two now on the special, then you would have them, and next year when you go to make something, you'll already have them, right? So then you use them over and over again, and that's where they retain their value. All right. Now we could put something down here for a title. We could journal in this area. We could do all kinds of fun things. With that, we could put a title up here and journal down here. We could journal right in here. There's lots of things we could do with this page. But I think I'm going to leave it there for now and leave it up to you. Let me know if you think of a fun title that I could add to this page. It sort of depends on the pictures that get put on here, but it's maybe not as critical. I like the way this turned out, and I'm so glad that you joined me. Until next time, I hope that you have many more creative moments. We'll see you in a couple days for another Christmas layout. Take care.